An Inconvenient Truth, episode 23. Had someone message me about Luke 16, the entire chapter, because the whole chapter is kind of a standalone. And he was asking about the parable of the dishonest manager, so I prayed about it, went into the office, typed notes. Afterwards, I compared it to hermeneutical breakdown. It worked well, except for one big difference, or one additional revelation. And this is it. So I hope this helps, guys. So, the parable of the dishonest manager, first of all, is speaking of a manager, which means this is someone who had already been proven was already put in that position. He is referring to religious leaders, church leaders, people who know what they're doing. And that whole story is not referring to someone who is in the kingdom of heaven. That story is referring specifically to something here on earth. Okay? And God makes this very clear. He actually contrasts the wealth of this world to the eternal reward. Okay? Two different things. Every time, going down a little farther, because the whole chapter is tied together. The marriage, every time you see a marriage, it is referring to the bride of Christ and our bridegroom, Christ, right? In the Bible, anytime you see that, that's what it's referring to. And Jesus is saying those who are put in position or have been appointed to handle funds, if you don't, look at 9 through 12, verses 9 through 12 in the chapter, he gives all the answers right there. If you can't handle this, you're not going to be able to handle heaven. If you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do this. So in that, he's actually saying that those people are committing adultery twice. These are people who've been giving something of financial wealth in this world, and they're abusing it, and they're taking advantage of people, and they're being greedy and whatever else. And they're, first of all, committing adultery by turning away from God. And secondly, they're committing adultery by turning to the God mammon or money, right? Okay, so go down to the last part, Lazarus and the rich man. This is simply a confirmation of someone with wealth in position not doing what they should have been doing with kingdom wealth. And you see the end result of that story. It's terrifying. What I saw that was different than what was in the hermeneutical breakdown is this. Jesus is talking to the Pharisees, and he's talking to his disciples. Disciples first, the Pharisees were listening in. Which one of his disciples betrayed him? Judas. Why did Judas betray him? 30 pieces of silver, and he lost his soul. And Jesus is then also talking to the Pharisees. Guys, this was a very stark warning, but it was also an attempt by Jesus to draw Judas back to himself. It's horrifying and lovely. It is inconvenient, but it is true. I love you.